Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. So today I'm going to be talking through a trade that we took on GBPUSD last week. It was on Friday and we had a nice little buy that I'm going to be breaking down in today's video. I'm going to be showing you why I took the trade, how I took the trade, what I looked for, as well as some other key tips that you guys can use and implement into your trading. Now, excuse me if I look boiling. It is so hot here at the moment in the UK. Yesterday it was like 30 and today it's like 28, 29. So I'm sweating like mad. It is boiling. But anyway, I'm going to push through it. We're going to get this video filmed for you guys and I'm going to break down exactly why I took this trade that we had on Friday. We made 3%. So yeah, let's get into the breakdown. If you guys are new around here, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. So yeah, I'm going to talk you through the trade, the reason why I took the trade, and just my analysis behind it. As you can see, this is where price was on the Thursday. Sorry, not Friday. I got that confused. So yeah, obviously price was on a higher time frame, probably making some really nice uptrends if you want to look at it like this. You know, if on a higher time frame like the hour or the 4 hour, it's going to look a lot clearer and a lot less sort of spread out. But just to show you, you can see that obviously we're trending upwards. But as I always say, I'm not that bothered about what price was doing back in Monday the 5th. So I was only looking for obviously what price was doing in the days. So if we zoom in here on what price was doing on the particular day that I took the trade. So this was in New York on Wednesday. Obviously I don't trade New York or Asia session, but I like to look at it the next day and just see if anything there is going to help my analysis. So what I looked for here when I came to the charts at around 8 o'clock in the morning was, as you can see, when we produced this low down here, we had this low down here. When we produced this, we then failed actually to close below it with these wicks here. So that's not a confirmation that we're still bullish or that we're switching trend, but it's sort of the first phase of what I'd look for when determining the trend. So yeah, we made this low, we failed to break this low, and this was the last sort of high. Obviously, everyone, again, has different things that they class as highs or lows. But for me, I looked at this as the last high. And if I zoom in here, just to make it a bit clearer, you can see that price is pushed up again in Asia and is closing above the last high. So for me, that's where it's sort of like a good idea to start looking for longs. And then, as you can see, the rest of Asia, not much really happened. And then we come into London around 8 here, and we have this push up and again close above this structure or the last sort of higher high in that moment of time. So we've come up in London and we now know that the bias is long for me personally because of the failure to create a new lower low down here. We had the break of structure. We've then broken and closed above the next high. So it's a good way to get into longs. Now, there are so many different ways, again, to sort of get into this trade. You can use the fib, you can use order blocks would have worked, but there are lots of different ways. But me personally, I liked the look of this area here. As you can see, we had this nice little liquidity area, if you want to call that it. If you want to call that a liquidity area, even a break and retest, it's the same sort of style. But for me, this area needed to be tested. So it was looking like a good area to enter. Further down, it's a bit messy. You've got a lot of wicks in this area. Most stuff has been filled. So it wasn't the cleanest price action, but you can still obviously get good entries depending on what you trade personally. So just as an example, if you were to draw the fib on the push here, as you can see, you probably would have got better entries than me, to be honest, but you know, it was only, you know, a pip or two, so it's not that much difference. But you could have used the fib. You could have, I guess, marked out this area if you trade order blocks. And again, that is quite a nice trade. You had this wick in here. Depending on how you trade order blocks, maybe you do it from the body, which would have actually gotten you an even better entry down here. So there are lots of different ways of taking the trade, but me personally, as I said, this liquidity area needed retesting, and so I placed my limit around sort of 10, I think it was, on this candle here. And as you can see, price has come down, tested into this area, basically closed above it every time that it's tested it, and then we had one last drop in this candle here, or this wick, that's then, you know, collected the rest of whatever liquidity was remaining that it needed to push price up towards. And yeah, we got in the trade. It hovered around for a long time, so I was quite fortunate that I normally go to the gym around that time, so I was just able to sort of enter the trade, turn my phone off, go to the gym, and by the time I'd come back, it had pretty much hit TP. So we did have some news in this day. It wasn't high impact USD news, but it was medium, and I never like to trade during or around news, so I was fairly wary of that. As I said, I only really target 1s to 3s, which was what this trade was. And yeah, as you can see, we pushed up. The news was at 130, so it got to 130 on this bigger candle here, and because of, as I said, I don't like to trade news, what I did was I moved my stop loss to break even, which I don't normally recommend, but when you're in news, you kind of want to be careful that you're not just gonna have lots of slippage and it take more than what your SL was. So I put my stop loss to break even, just in case. And then obviously price rallied up, hit my TP, and then continued a long way further up. And as you can see now, it sort of continued moving around on Friday. And then obviously today we've had a big sell-off, but I don't trade Mondays. It's not a good day for me. So I personally wasn't looking at anything today. If there are any other trades that I see, I'll make sure to make breakdowns of it. But I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next video.